Its designer has described it as a living building for the Black American experience. President Obama opened the United States' first ever National Museum of African American History and Culture this week. It's a striking modern structure, and it's been built by a Brit, the architect David Adjaye. He took Nick Bryant on a tour of his iconic project.
This is a building that not only occupies the last vacant plot on some of America's most honoured land, the National Mall in Washington, but seeks to fill a gap in America's national memory. For decades, African Americans have campaigned for a museum that tells their epic story, opened by the country's first African American president.
It sort of changed my career, changed my life, actually.
The architect is British, David Adjaye, who sees this as his opus work. And rather than designing a monument, he set out to construct a living building that contributes to the ongoing racial debate that reflects the ongoing struggle for equality.
I think this building helps to really allow people to understand each other and to understand how people are interrelated in many ways, and how the path forward is not separation but understanding and kind of coexisting. So I think that this building comes at an opportune time in America to really remind it of its incredible rich history and its own contribution to that integration story.
Inside the building chronicles an often traumatic journey into freedom, the shackles and whips of slavery, the clenched fists of the Black Power salute at the Mexico City Olympics. But it's also a celebration of how black culture has come to define American culture.
These are all real. Nothing here is a reconstruction, so that really is Chuck Berry's kind of original Eldorado Cadillac.
So has it been a challenge for a British man to help tell an American story?
I try not to think about that, because if I did, I would collapse and I would probably need therapy, because it's a very weighty subject. But I think what I bring to it is a professionalism about what I believe architecture can contribute to that issue.
The building is steeped in symbolism. The form evokes an African crown. The lattice work recalls the ironwork of freed slaves in the American South. Windows look out over landmarks of the freedom struggle, like the Lincoln Memorial, the pulpit from which Dr. Martin Luther King delivered his I Have a Dream speech. David, this building's coming to completion.
Yeah.
As Barack Obama's presidency is coming to completion.
Yes.
Have you been struck at all by the irony of that?
It's been very beautiful, the irony. I mean, we started when he started his presidency, and he was very instrumental in helping get the first tranches of money through Congress and releasing that to really get the project going. And in a way, it feels like a wonderful bookend that, from slavery can come, a son of America who is of African descent, who becomes the president of, the most powerful nation in the world. And the story goes on.
This is the most important public building to open in Washington in decades, and surely the most meaningful structure that one of Britain's most celebrated architects will ever see to fruition. Nick Bryant, BBC News, Washington.